Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Boris Johnson wants to obviously be back in business. I mean, that's his job, to be a politician, and politicians want to get as high as they can. Not that way, but in their careers. He succeeded to reach, I'd say, the highest position in his country, that with that one of a prime minister, which I think is insulting for the British people. But what's British people nowadays? Nevertheless, their culture changed, their uh, homogeneity is destroyed, and nevertheless, you got people like Sunak, Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, Cameron, that I would say criminal Sir, what's his name, Tony Blair, and all these pieces of garbage being in charge of that great nation, which is going down. So what's going on right now? Boris Johnson, he calls Tucker Carlson a traitor. Carlson is a journalist, so his job is to go and interview people, talk about, inform us, keep us informed, bring the news out, explain certain things. Well, how can you be a traitor? Well, to be a traitor, that's very clear what a traitor is, right? And I don't think Tucker Carlson is a traitor because he went and interviewed a person Mr. Johnson doesn't like. Remember, United States of America is not at war with Russia, like legally. There means you can't really, Then again, Boris Johnson, Great Britain, is not at war with Russia, legally, technically, correct? So it's a big stretch to say, because this free journalist went to interview, ask questions, someone on this planet, is a traitor. I should remind this little mini dictator fucker, Johnson, that that's the task, the duty of a journalist, to go and talk to people, any people, all kind of people. Well, this is the kind of freedom and democracy and the values these guys are talking about. You talk to only people that we like, and you have to parrot only the narrative we like. Now, and then they tell you that if you don't do it, you're a traitor. So let's look at this article coming from The Hill. And you got Boris Johnson calls Tucker Carlson a traitor for Putin interview. Look at this lost guy. Where am I going? What dicks do I suck now? All right, so here it is. He's a traitor. I would like to know where exactly. How can you accuse that? I mean, isn't that like label? No, can be sued for that. I mean, Trump, just was ordered to cough up $86 million to a ugly motherfucker because he said she's a wacky for that. And here is what? Defamation. That's why it was. It's defamation. What about this one? Don't you defame someone by calling him a traitor? He's a public figure. Imbecile. But he doesn't care. They have people to cover for him. Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, called out conservative commentator Tucker Carlson for interviewing Russian President Vladimir Putin. So for interviewing, that's what it is. For interviewing, I call you out. And I'm quoting, around the world, people are watching that ludicrous interview with Vladimir Putin conducted by Tucker Carlson, and we must not fall for this tissue of lies, above all for the notion that Putin is somehow fated to succeed in Ukraine. On the contrary, he is doomed to failure. Johnson, it's you against us. We know that. That's what it is. So when you say us, the world, who are you talking about when you say the world? Are you talking about Zimbabwe? Chile? Are you talking about the population from what? New Zealand? Yeah? These guys? What do you know? Well, he lumps us all together as if we are united against the evil. And if we're not united, that means we're evil. Why? Because they say so. They don't have the arguments, but nevertheless. Johnson said. Carlson, a former pundit for, was pulled off the air by the, now they tell us a little bit of a history, telling us that he's a bad dude. Putin is a bad dude. Two bad dudes at it. Johnson said that, criticizing Carlson interviewing, saying he was phoning, guffawing, and had slack-jawed happiness at having a scoop. The former prime minister said he betrayed viewers around the world. No, he can sell his product in a free world. You sell your product. Hey guys, this is a piece of shit looking as a candy. Who wants to buy it? If you buy it, after all, we buy cars that are garbage. We buy other things that are garbage and we're told they're good pieces. We vote for garbage, right? It's like I was saying, no, we shouldn't be able to vote for Johnson. No, Johnson was voted however he was voted in, and that's it. Some people like him, some people don't like him. That's the beauty of free people, free choice. Not mommy and daddy telling us, well, wait a second, that's not, it's a betrayal. He interviewed someone, he asked whatever questions he wanted. What do you... This shows you the tyranny behind these guys' character. Right there, right there. And I'm quoting again this imbecile. He didn't ask tough questions. Well, why don't you conduct your interview? He conducted his interview, and you can analyze it. That's true. Tough questions. He didn't ask Putin why even now he is using the most brutal means of modern warfare to maim the murder innocent Ukrainian civilians, Johnson wrote. Johnson, will you use the same terms for the Middle East? Those guys are not using slingshots or David's whatever, okay? So would you say that? Of course not. Of course not. Aren't innocent people dying in Gaza? Who's using what over there? Missiles, airplanes, helicopters, bullets. What is Putin using other than the other guys over there? Or you in Yemen? No civilians dead over there, you think? We're not told. Okay, so spare me. Instead, Carlson acted like a fan of Putin and boneheadedly accepted Putin's mixture of semi-masticarded Wikipedia and outright falsehood. He brings arguments? No, he just, you're bad, you're lying. Why? I don't have to explain. During the two-hour interview, Putin said that he was open to negotiation with the US over the war in Ukraine. But he spent much of his airtime talking about history and repeating talking points to justify his decision. Do you want to solve a problem? If you don't want to solve a problem, you don't talk to that person. If you don't want to talk a problem with someone, you don't discuss and you don't try to say, okay, let me see your take on things. If you don't want to solve the problem, you don't listen to his side. You want your side to be imposed without the other side saying its say. That means you don't want to solve the problem, or you want to solve it only the way you want without hearing the other side. And that's not how you solve a problem. Now, if you want to solve the problem, you ask questions. Okay, this is my position on this issue. What's yours? Oh, I think that's a lie, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this. And you're going to say, this is a lie because of that. That's how you interact, and you are able to find out that this color is white. You should be able to figure that out. You should be able to figure out this is an iPad, okay? Or these are glasses. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be something that, oh, we don't know, we have a problem. I don't think this is white. Actually, this is brown. The same here. If you want to solve the problem, if you don't, you will always find a reason. Oh, I don't know, you dressed funny today. You're wrong. We're not going to talk to you. The same here. When this guy says that, oh, Putin was open to negotiations. They always said that. But the key word is what kind of negotiations? What are the terms? Russia explained clearly, we got in this garbage because of those things. And these guys say, no, it's unprovoked. How do you know it's unprovoked? Ask them. It's like someone is punching someone in the face. And you say, that's unprovoked. Why don't you ask him to see what triggered him? He's going to come and give you a list why I was provoked in punching you in the face. And the other side says, No, that's not true. You attacked unprovoked. You don't want to have a dialogue. You don't want to solve the problem. And that's what it is. And this imbecile Johnson, remember, he showed up in Kiev after the Istanbul meetings between the negotiating teams of Russia and Ukraine, and he screwed everything up. And he's upset about it. Why? Because Putin said it's because of you, Johnson. He said because of you, Johnson, when you showed up over there, Ukrainians destroyed the agreements that we worked on so far, the Ukrainians and the Russians, and you changed their mind. Say, do you think he can do that? Yeah, not he. He worked for an interest, bigger interest, the ones that are involved in this war. He was just a messenger, sending Zelensky with a hair like a fucking retard. That tells you what a hygiene he's got. Okay, put it this way. But hey, we're not supposed to analyze people by bad hair because that doesn't tell you hygiene. Under what world? This garbage war. Oh, you can't discriminate people. I don't want to. Are you clean? Yeah, you get a job. You're not clean, you don't get a job. There's discrimination. Why? If you're incapable of taking care of your bodily functions and appearance as a minimum, how can you be organized and disciplined in the tasks you have to perform on the job? Oh, no, I'm very disorganized in my life. You see this in the movies. That's garbage. You see the people who are just, but they are the geniuses. Pula mea. Okay? You can't. Why? Because in order to know certain things, you have to show discipline. You have to show a certain kind of mental attitude that makes you analyze and you have a method of an analytical method, let's put it this way, where you synthesize things, put them together. You have to be organized in your brain, but you're not organized with your underwear. Just throw them on the fucking light over there or something. You don't wipe your ass. You don't brush your teeth. You're not organized, but you're organized in deeper things. This is only in the fucking movies. Did you find this kind of people with, yeah, I found a few people like that, but they make it like this, the general rule. Why? Because they push these kind of things. Don't stereotype the guys who don't even wipe their asses or brush their teeth and their hair as being as they are, undisciplined motherfucking children. Because you see, some of them might be geniuses. Some, there is the special example of their general rule is you have to be clean first thing in order to show me you're disciplined. You remember when Jordan Peterson wrote his book, 12 Rules of Life or something like that, yeah? One of them was this: clean up your room. You make your bed. So that tells you, before you go outside and criticize other people, how, like you see critics. I think her dress was not match. And look at him and he's like dressed like this with 2 pairs of socks, different colors, all that. Fuck you. First, go and clean up. Show me that you are capable of being at least at a minimum of what you are supposedly, criticizing over there. It doesn't work. This is a Hollywood made lie that if you're like that a little bit, that shows you're free spirited and you think outside the box. Remember Albert Einstein? Yeah. Remember when he said the genius is what? 1% is genius and 99% is perspiration, transpiration, hard work. Hard work, without hard work, you have to be disciplined. You have to sacrifice. You can't just be, I do whatever I want, I slurp this garbage, I write with my one hand because the right one is jerking off. It doesn't work that way. Well, sometimes, but they make it like this. Why? So you don't look at the person and say, you're still a teenager. You behave as not even a teenager, as an infantile. And you want to be, and don't stereotype him. I look at him, the first impression. No, that's wrong. Psychology and, how should I put it? Nature is wrong. No, you shouldn't. You see a snake? No, probably he's got legs somewhere in his pocket, but he chooses not to. That snake identifies as a snake, but actually it's a lion. So the same with this garbage. He's fucked up because Putin called him out in the interview saying it was because of Johnson why we have these people killed. And he's like, that's a traitor, that's an idiot, give me power so I can show you I love you, put me back in power, I give you, let's destroy Russia, let's do this, just put me in power, please. That's how Johnson is. And that's what Sunak is and others. They would, whatever those guys over there want, and these guys are selling you. They're selling us. Because we are at the receiving end. We're going to be the ones that are going to sacrifice. Not them. They're going to be the guys who are going to get the job done. How? You do it, I said so. I'm in charge. Fuck you. And this guy's going to pat them. It's okay, you're going to stay next. You're going to be the prime minister again. That's all he wants. He wants back as a prime minister. Maybe he wants to be the secretary general of NATO. Who the hell knows what? But right now, he's out of favor with the big guys. Or he's just put on the sidelines. And now it's time to others to show their talents. They fucked up their name or whatever they do. They do get the job done for those guys. And then when they need this guy, they activate him, put him back in business. He's going to be willingly do it because he was sidelined. He's not destroyed. He's sidelined. And he's going to say, I'm here. And say, okay, let's use this one. Pop, boom. Media is going to cover for him. It's going to be, oh, Johnson is back in business. And everything is going to be okay. Why? He's got a job to do from those guys. And guess who's going to be him? Us. Oh, do you think when they say, oh, let's stand with Ukraine and destroy Russia, what does it mean? You pay for it. With you, with your energy, with your lives, with your children's life. Not his. He's doing just fine. He's going to be in charge of us. And he's going to do the job beating of those guys. Jesus Christ. So again, he calls Tucker a traitor. What do you do with traitors? You incarcerate them. In other countries, you hang them or put them in front of a fire squad. Is that what he means? That's what traitor means. Traitors are killed in countries or hanged or whatever. They're incarcerated, aren't they? So is this what he wants? He uses the word traitor. In the context that we have an enemy and he went to the enemy and did what? Interviewed him. Remember, if this guy thinks like that, this is not something that he just found out, I'm going to think like this right now. This is the way he thinks. He just hid it before. Or maybe he didn't. Remember, you wear masks and you the distance, social distance. And he was having... so naive, man. These people are so naive, man. Why? They haven't seen better. They haven't seen it. And they don't even bother to read. They really believe in these guys. These guys are just as any other ones. It's just they're a little bit more, the media covers for them more, and they're a little bit more hiding, not out in the open, versus the communists, those thugs. They're the same thugs. It's just they're a little bit more sophisticated in hiding it. But it seems like they don't have to. Why? Because the baboons are too busy making a living created by these guys. The more you have to work, the less attention and less time and less mood you have to really dig into these guys' businesses, garbage. If you would have to, let's say you work 1 hour a day, imagine the rest of the day you have time to do what the fuck ever you want. You'll be rested. No, not arrested, rested, and you can have whatever interest you want for the rest of the day. Remember, let's say you sleep 8 hours, you got what? The rest of the freaking, 16 hours, you have them free? 16 hours you potentially could have them for whatever you want. Well, let's say 1 hour you work. But no, what if they have to work 16 hours or 12 hours? You work 12 hours a day, sleep 8 hours, and you remain with what? A few hours to do what? Eat shit and relax for about 30 minutes. That's it. So how in the hell are you going to be busy to understand what this garbage is saying? You're too busy. Your brain is too preoccupied with making a living. Direct experience, I can tell you that. And it doesn't mean, oh, it's direct experience is true. Well, I hope you have enough strength and energy after, 12 hours, 16 hours a day work every day to make a living, or to have a decent living, have time to, okay, now I'm going to stay 3 hours to read a book, look at some news, learn this, listen to this lecture. I want to see that you have that mood. If you have it, you're fantastic. Keep doing it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.